Brunson case goes down. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is another declaration of truth from your host, Terry A. Hurlbut. The Supreme Court issued its order list this morning, and in it is this notation, docket number 22-380, Brunson versus Adams, certiorari denied. That's as a result of their January 6th conference. As is usual with the court, they made no comment. We know only that fewer than 4 justices voted to grant review. We do not know how many, if any, voted for review. I took a little extra time to get this out today, mainly because I'm sure many of you are hanging on tenterhooks about this case, and also because I know that the House of Representatives is actually in session as I speak, and has scheduled a vote on formal adoption of the House rules at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time tonight. Under the circumstances, this couldn't wait. Before I tell you why I believe the court acted as it did, and indeed could do nothing else, I do want to shout out to a prime sponsor of this channel, which is Conservative News and Views. Link in the description. And be sure to check out the awesome CNAV Store. Scroll down now for to the bottom, near the bottom for this link. Lots of great merchandise there, especially this t-shirt that I've chosen for today, which reads, "Freedom isn't free." This is a general statement of what sets this country apart from the rest. But I remind you all, ours is a country of law and order, and sometimes cuts both ways. One more thing. If you like what you're about to hear, you can like this video. You can also click the bell icon to get a notice every time I come up with a new one. In fact, do you see the new icon, the heart shape with the US dollar sign in it? That's the super thanks icon. If you really want to keep these videos coming, click that and leave me a tip. Any currency will do, so long as it's legal tender. Rayland J. Brunson and his 3 brothers developed a theory, which I have discussed before, that 385 members of Congress failed to defend the Constitution. According to them, the election of 2020 had many irregularities in the appointment of presidential electors. The Brunsons specifically raised a question of Chinese interference in the Electoral College appointment processes in the 50 states. As such, this required an investigation, and those 385 members who voted to accept the count failed to investigate. Now, they included 94 senators and 291 representatives. The Brunson brothers sued President Biden, Vice President Harris, former Vice President Pence, and every senator and representative who voted not to investigate the election. Furthermore, they sought the removal from office of the president, the vice president, and the congressional defendants. Those who are still holding office, by the way. Not all of them are. Professor Timothy Canova of the NSU Florida Shepherd Board College of Law offered his own speculation on why the court bothered to put this case on the docket. He spoke of legislation the court might fear that Congress might consider to clip the court's wings. These included judicial term limits, a mandatory retirement age, and enlargement of the court. Professor Canova also spoke of the Twitter files references, including revelations of Twitter staff complicity in election interference, but not necessarily in the tally, but in the campaign. Congress did not pass any of the measures Canova mentioned that the court most feared. And as to the Twitter files, the case of Missouri versus Biden already addresses the state actor activities of Twitter, Facebook, and other social media. So any hypothetical provocation to the court did not happen, or else the judiciary is already handling it. Again, the Supreme Court made no comment on why they denied the petition, nor how many voted either way. They almost never do that, but I can readily guess. Before I share my guess and my reasons for it, I want to shout out to a sponsor who can really help you through the economic storms to come. That sponsor is oursilverlines.com. Do you feel like you're working harder for your money just to get by? You are not alone. The fluctuating economy, employment issues, and unexpected changes in life have left many families struggling over the past few years. Collecting gold and silver can help shield you against many of these challenges. But if you're like me many years ago, you don't know where or how to start. Our Silver Lines helps by connecting you with thousands of members who are learning the secrets to creating and protecting true wealth by collecting precious metals. Whether you just want to collect rare and unique coins or take advantage of the business opportunities this company provides, they can help you learn to live an exceptional life. Visit oursilverlines.com. Learn how you can build a legacy for your future. Now then, the U.S. District Court for the District of Utah found that the Brunson brothers lacked standing. The elements of standing to bring any complaint before a court, as any lawyer can tell you, and hey, though I'm not one, are these: an injury in fact that the plaintiff can claim, traceability of that injury to the conduct of the defendant, and a remedy that the court has the authority to order. The federal courts have a reputation for refusing to recognize any injury in fact in an ordinary citizen for a defendant's failure to abide by the Constitution. But even were a court to allow that an injury took place, the Brunsons faced another high hurdle. Courts do not remove presidents, vice presidents, senators, or representatives from their offices. The Constitution says this about senators and representatives. This comes from Article 1, Section 5. Clause 1 begins with this clear statement, and I quote, "Each house shall be the judge of the elections, returns, and qualifications of its own members." Close quote. And Clause 2 reads in relevant part, and again I quote, "Each house may punish its members for disorderly behavior and, with the concurrence of 2/3, expel a member." Close quote. Nothing in there about courts removing members of Congress. Nothing at all. Presidents, vice presidents, executive civilian officers, judges, and justices are subject to impeachment. The House of Representatives brings all impeachments. The Senate tries them. No other authority has any jurisdiction over such people. The House historian keeps a record of all persons who were ever subjected to impeachment and the disposition of their cases. The House may not impeach a senator. Only once has the House tried to impeach a senator. That was Senator William Blount of Tennessee. Senator Blount faced charges of conspiring to help Great Britain seize Spanish-controlled territories where Florida and Louisiana now stand. The Senate refused to try the case for lack of personal jurisdiction of the House over any senator. Now, the Senate did find merit in the charges. They expelled Senator Blount from the Senate before acting on those impeachment articles. All of which to say, the courts have no jurisdiction over any of the defendants the Brunson brothers name. That would be reason enough not to let this case go any further. Moreover, none of the justices issued any dissenting opinions on the denial of review. Now, any justice who would have voted to review this matter probably would have wanted his reasons on record. Again, this is not a habit with them, but in a case this sensitive, they would have, just as Justices Thomas and Alito did regarding the refusal of review in Texas versus Pennsylvania. So perhaps the court unanimously rejected this case. Contrary to popular belief, the court decides about 90% of its cases unanimously. Most cases turn on elementary points of law and procedure that the court expects everyone to know. Brunson versus Adams would be one of them. I understand the disappointment some of you might feel, but even to suggest that a federal court has the jurisdiction to remove a sitting member of Congress would violate the separation of powers. And we conservatives do not play fast and loose with exceptions. William Shakespeare says, "Angels are bright still, though the brightest fell. Though all things foul would wear the look of grace, yet grace must still look so." Macbeth, Act 4, Scene 3, lines 10 through 12. As I said at the beginning, the House of Representatives will vote on formal adoption of rules of the House for the 118th Congress, and that vote will take place tonight at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Link in the description to the article, to the docket listing for Brunson versus Adams, to my Declarations of Truth Twitter account, and to Conservative News and Views. I've also left links to the awesome CNAV Store and to oursilverlines.com, as I also mentioned. You know already about how to like a video, turn on notifications, and leave a tip. On the end screen, I'm going to leave a subscribe link to my channel and links to other videos about this case. At least one that I've done, maybe a couple of others floating around. This is Terry A. Hurlbut delivering another declaration of truth and reminding you to let the truth set you free.